What if I told you that London, yes, the shiny global powerhouse, has been quietly breaking apart for more than a century, not in borders, not in politics, but in something much deeper, the breakup of a city's identity. Behind the skyscrapers and tourist snapshots lies a London divided into separate worlds, where wealth and poverty live side by side, yet never meet, where global money builds towers while locals are pushed out, and where every attempt to fix the city only seems to break it even further. This is the story of how one of the world's greatest cities slowly fractured, and why its future now stands on a knife's edge. Story: the breakup of London never shattered in a single moment. It cracked slowly, like a beautiful old painting that people admired so much they didn't see. Notice the fractures spreading beneath the surface. In the late 1800s, the city was booming with industry. Factories roared, chimneys smoked, and thousands poured into London every month searching for work. What they found was a city growing faster than it could handle, wealth surging in the polished West End, poverty expanding across the East. Those early divides hardened into invisible walls. They didn't disappear with time. They became London's skeleton. Then came the empire's wealth, foreign money, trade, and global influence. It made London powerful, but also dependent. The city learned to rely on outside capital to fuel its growth. And like any relationship built on dependency, it created a dangerous imbalance. London rose, but the cracks widened. By the 1980s, the Big Bang deregulation turned London into the world's financial heart overnight. Glass towers shot up. Bankers arrived. Le Cisera gemia surra yola 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 yola. It was the city's golden age, at least, on the surface, but as the finance sector soared, everything else fell behind. A new London was born. A rich, fast, global London, living right beside an older, struggling, invisible one. This was the real beginning of the breakup. Locals could feel it before anyone talked about it. Neighborhoods that had been home to working families for generations suddenly became too expensive for the people who lived there. Housing transformed from shelter into an investment product. People stopped asking, "Where do you live?" and started asking, "What's your rent?" The answers became painful. A teacher, a nurse, a bus driver, jobs that held the city together, could no longer afford the city they served. You could see the divide growing in real life. One street with luxury apartments selling for millions, the next with overcrowded flats and struggling families. London was still one city on a map, but in reality it had split into many. Then came Brexit. It didn't just separate the UK from the EU, it separated London from the UK. For the first time, the city realized it lived by different values, different economics, different needs. The rest of the country felt London had taken too much. London felt misunderstood. The national family argument became another crack in the city's foundation. And when the pandemic hit, The breakup wasn't subtle anymore, it was undeniable. Remote workers fled to protect themselves. Essential workers stayed and risked everything. Global investors paused. Local businesses crumbled. Rich and poor London experienced two different worlds during the same crisis. And when life resumed, the city discovered that many who left weren't coming back. By the mid-2020s, the fracture was measurable. Boroughs only a few miles apart had life expectancies a decade apart. Childhood poverty soared in districts surrounded by luxury towers. Housing costs hit levels that economists openly called structurally unsustainable. London, the proud engine of the UK, had become the most unequal city in Western Europe. Leaders tried to solve the problem, but every fix created another. Build more housing. Developers built only luxury units. Tax foreign buyers. They changed tactics without leaving. Improve transportation. Land values rose. Rents surged, and the cycle got worse. Regeneration projects intended to lift up neighborhoods ended up pushing out the very people they were meant to help. It was a breakup spiraling into a pattern. The more you tried to fix London, the more the fix deepened the fracture. By now, many experts quietly admit something uncomfortable. London isn't one city anymore. It's a collection of micro-cities stitched together, some thriving, some fighting to survive, some forgotten entirely. They share a postal system, a government, and a map, but not a reality. And the most unsettling part is this: London is not the exception. It's the preview. Cities worldwide: New York, Toronto, San Francisco, Sydney, Berlin are now tracing the same steps London took decades earlier. Rising housing costs, foreign money reshaping neighborhoods, middle-class families leaving, public workers priced out, communities splitting into separate economic planets. London's breakup is not just a local story. It is the first chapter of a global pattern, yet the future isn't set in stone. Cracks can be repaired. Cities can reinvent themselves. What breaks can be rebuilt if the story is understood before it repeats. London's tale is a warning, but it's also a lesson. A city is not its buildings or its wealth. A city is its people. When they drift apart, the city breaks apart. But when they come together, even fractured places can heal. London's breakup is still unfolding. Its ending has not been written. And that's what makes this story matter.